Hello everyone, good evening. Is my voice audible? Shall I start the session or should I wait for some more time for other persons? Okay, good. I'm audible, right? Okay. So, yes, let me take a look into the document so that we can understand what are the concepts we covered and what are the concepts we need to cover. Yes, we discussed about the regular expressions. All right, yes. But screen, not this. Okay. Okay. Share the screen. Yes, definitely I will share the screen. So we discussed about regular expressions, right? No, let me open the Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code. Why is not coming? I'm not audible.
Participants, are you audible or not? Please respond in chat box. Audible, right? Okay, now fine. Anwan sir, please continue.
Just confirm whether my voice is audible to you or not. My voice is audible or not?
Audible sir, please continue. All of you, please check your internet connection once. It is clear now. Okay, now okay. Please.
Thank you. Thank you for confirmation. Audible. So we are checking for the regular expression that should have a in it, and the string must and should have the character b in that also. So when we are going to use a b combination in the given string, then we will get true value, otherwise we will get the false value. That is the importance of question mark equals to. So for example, here I am going to use AACC. So AACC. So that is false, because so we are checking for the question mark and the string must and should have the b in it. So that is the reason we are not able to get true value here. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear? Once again explains it. Yes. What about others? Fatima, is that clear to you? Fatima, you responded that. Please explain it again. So is that clear, Fatima, now? If you want me to explain this again, you can. I will explain it again. If you want me to explain it again, I will. Or if you want me to proceed, I will proceed with the further concepts. No. Okay. Let me explain the same concept again. So we just used a regular expression, that is R. Here R is a regular expression. This is a variable. This variable holds this regular expression. We are checking for A. We are checking for A in the given string. But we are mentioning another condition in it. That is, the string must and should have B also. Here we are using question mark equals to. That means question mark equals to. That means the string must and should have B. We are checking for A, and the string must and should have B in it also. So that is the importance of question mark and equals to symbol. So generally, when we are going to use only question mark, that is optional. But when we are going to use question mark equals to along with A, that means we used to have A as well as B in the given string. But this is the beginning character. The string must and should start with this A character. So let me execute this one. I'm going to create, I'm going to use a console.log statement for testing. Console.log, and I'm going to use r.test of. So we are checking for A. So we should have A in the first or beginning of the string. A, and the string must and should have B character in it. I just used ACCBB. Let me execute. that is false statement, because after A we have to use B character. Let me use the B character ABBCC. Now we are able to see true as the answer. Very similar to this, we are checking for the string must and should have A after that B. If the string doesn't contain any kind of B character in it, we have only ACC. We are checking for A and the string must and should have B character in it. That is the importance of this regular expression. That is the meaning of this regular expression. So let me execute this. But if you observe this, the regular expression we mentioned, the B character, that means the B character must and should have B in that given string. But we didn't use any kind of B. Let me check this. We will get the false statement as the result. So this is what the regular expression means. Why we are using question mark and equals to symbol. When we are going to use question mark only, that is optional. But when we are going to use question mark equals to, that means the string must and should start with A and the string must and should have B in it. But we mentioned A here. We mentioned A here. A means the beginning character will be A and the next character will be B. Very similar to this, I am going to use another regular expression. That is, I am going to use B only. I just used B only. I didn't mention any kind of A character. That is the beginning character of A string. And I am going to use console.log statement again. Console.log. And I am going to check it for. And I am going to use test. And here I am going to pass a string, a test string. So I am going to use SBBS. Let me execute this. Now we are able to see the true value because the B is available in the given string. We are checking for the equality of this regular expression. So when we are going to use question mark only, that is optional. But here we are using question mark and equals to, that means the string must and should start with the A. Besides of it, we should have B in the given string. That is the meaning of this regular expression. And sir, if we use A, it would be wrong or be optional in the string. Okay, yes. Let me check it. Let me check it this one, and we need to use A and question mark B. That is also one of the important question. Okay, let me recheck this. I'm going to replace, that is A question mark B, right? So again, this is a regular expression. We have to use forward slashes. We have to enclose the regular expression with the forward slashes. All right. So it's better to check the console.log statement. So console.log, I'm going to pass console.log, and we need to use r.test of, we need to pass a string, right? So I'm going to use, so you mentioned that the string must and should start with the A character, A, and we didn't use any kind of equal to symbol. So let me use ABBA. Then let me check this. So if you observe this invalid regular expression, because we used question mark directly, but we didn't mention anything in between, in before, or we have to use question mark or dot symbol after the question mark. For example, I'm going to change this regular expression to like this. That means A question mark and B. Let me check this. Now we are able to see true condition here. True as the result. So here A is optional. When we are going to use question mark, the before value is optional, but the string must and should have B in it. But here when we are going to use this, this is a meaningless regular expression. So that is the reason we are able to see invalid regular expression as the error. So we have to represent a question mark like this, or we have to use equal to symbol or dot symbol. Is Fatima responded? It's clear. So what about Anand? Anand, is that clear? Clear. Okay. Now starts with the project. So actually we have a pending task. The first statement, that is password should have lowercase letters. All right. So this is the regular expression. We need not use new regexp because this is the class, and we need not use this, and we can represent by using the forward slashes. Yes. So we have to use the password should have lowercase letters. So what we have to do, so first of all, the regular expression must and should start with maybe the lowercase letter or maybe the uppercase letter. I'm going to use cap symbol and dollar symbol. So this is the beginning of the string and this is the ending character. So let me use question mark, and I'm going to use equals to, I'm going to use dot star, and here lowercase letters. So we have to represent the lowercase letters. So star means we have to we used to have at least one character by matching this regular expression. So let me check this once. So our project is located in desktop environment. This is the project. All right. So let me open this, the Chrome browser, and let me explain the lower. Let me use the lowercase letters. Now we are able to see false statement here. Let me recheck this once. What is the error here? So we are using question mark equal to symbol. That's fine. Dot, and we are using star symbol. So at least it should have one lowercase letter. Okay. Let me use the question mark here because uh, it represents we should have at least one character, one lowercase letter, and save this and execute in the browser again. Refresh, and now we are able to see false. This is also wrong answer. So yes, okay, lowercase letter. So and then I'm going to use uppercase also. So that is question mark equals to dot, and we have to use asterisk symbol, the star symbol. Again, we have to mention question mark because we need to match at least one character. And
Hanuman sir, please unmute. Please unmute your mic, sir. Participants, my voice is audible or not? Please confirm. Yes, it audible. Okay, thank you. Hanuman sir, please confirm my voice is audible to you.
Am I audible now?
My voice is audible or not?
Audible లేదండి.
No sir, not audible. Guys, some technical issue. Please wait few minutes, 2 or 3 minutes.
Now, am I audible or not? So just kindly confirm whether I'm audible or not. Yes, it's audible. Okay, okay. So let me share my screen and continue. So this is the new system, right? So now audible. Okay, so whatever it may be, it's better to check in Google Chrome. So I'm using console window here. So I'm going to represent the regular expression by using where reg equals to. And first of all, let me check it for the capital letter. So whether the given condition is matching or not for the capital letter. So we have to mention the cap symbol and the dollar symbol. In between we have to use the regular expression. I'm going to use question mark and equals to. So we have to use dot and star. So dot star means at least matching one character. And so we have to use question mark also. So question mark, and we have to mention capital A and capital Z. So this is the regular expression here. So now let me check console.log statement. I'm going to use the reg.test, and in that I'm going to pass a string in an example string. So I'm going to use HANUMAN. All right. So let me execute. Now that is false. So the string should have at least one capital letter. Oh, so we mentioned that is it's a dollar symbol. So it's better to remove this dollar. After everything is okay, then we can apply the beginning and ending characters. Let me execute. Now that's true. So now we are able to write this regular expression for matching the capital letters of a given string. Very similar to this, I'm going to extend the regular expression. So what is that? I'm going to use question mark equals to and dot symbol, asterisk symbol, and again I'm going to use question mark A to Z. That means the string should have at least one lowercase letter. Okay, so let me check this. Here we are able to have the capital letter and the small case letter also. Now we are able to see that is true. Very similar to this, we have to mention the numerical values also. What we have to do, so we have to mention the numerical values. So I'm going to use question mark equals to dot symbol and star symbol and question mark again, and we have to mention the character group, so 0 to 9. So this is for numerical values. That means the string should have the numerical value also. If you observe this, we didn't mention any kind of numerical value in the given string. So that is false because we need to mention the numerical value also. And I'm going to use the numerical value in it. So that is 03. Now that's a true. Very similar to this, I'm going to use the numerical value between the characters 03, and let me execute. Now that is also true. That's fine. So now we are able to include the conditions like the string should have a capital letter, a small case letter, and a numerical value. Now we mentioned a few kinds of characters also, few kinds of symbols. So for that, what we have to do, we have to use the characters also. So for that, we have to use question mark equal to symbol, and we have to use dot symbol, asterisk symbol. Again, we have to use question mark. So when we are going to use this question mark, so without using this question mark, we have to, when we are going to use star only. Star means we used to have at least one character. So that means the capital letters or the small case letters, we should have only one. But when we are going to use question mark, that is the optional. So we should have at least one character. We can mention any n number of characters. Okay, very similar to this. Now we have to mention the symbols. So that is question mark equals the symbol, dot, and a hashtag symbol. Again, we have to use question mark, and we mentioned few kinds of symbols. These hash, not, dollar, at symbol. These are the four we mentioned. All right. So let me execute. Now we're able to see false because we didn't use any kind of special character. Very similar to this, let me use the special character in the string. So that is something like at. I'm going to use at. Now that is true. Now we write the regular expression for we wrote the regular expression for capital letters, small case letters, numerical values, and the special character. Alright, so finally what we have to do, we have to mention the regular expression or the given password must and should have 8 characters long. So I'm going to use condition also. Here what we have to do, we have to mention condition, so the minimum and maximum value. So for that what we have to do, so we have to use braces. So we used to have these characters. Along with these characters, we have to mention the length. So let me use dot symbol here. Dot symbol. So this is also one of the regular pattern. So that is the reason we have to use dot symbol. And the string must should have 8 characters long. So this is the minimum range, and we have to mention the maximum range also. That's it. So let me execute. Now that is true. Let me retake this HANU. Yes, now it's time to use the starting and the beginning characters. So cap symbol, and we have to use a dollar symbol also. So I'm going to use a dollar symbol. That means we are going to provide the ending character also. That means when we are going to reach the ending, so the character's length must and should have 8 characters one. Let me check this. Now false statement. Similarly, I'm going to mention 8 characters long. 8 characters long. So HANU 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to remove this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have to mention 2 more characters. I'm going to use 3, 5. We execute. Now that is true. Because the password must and should have 8 characters length only. Very similar to this. When I'm going to increase the characters length, what will happen? So I'm going to use AA. Now we already mentioned the condition or the regular expression must and should have minimum 8 characters and maximum 8 characters. That means the string, the given password must and should have 8 characters length only. So let me execute. Now that is false statement because we already mentioned the minimum is 8 and the maximum is 8. The string must and should have 8 characters length only. That's it. That is the reason we are able to get the false statement as the value. So this is all about the regular expression, how to implement the given how to implement the pattern for given validations. So this is all about the regular expression. Let me copy this and paste it in the chat box. So this is very critical because we mentioned a few kinds of validations that are very difficult. So that is the reason we took lack of time. Is that clear, everyone? Kindly respond in the chat box. Yes, it's clear. Yes, it's clear. Finally, I came to understand that so we need not to use cap symbol and dollar symbol in the beginning. After completion of all the validations, then only we have to use cap symbol and dollar symbol. So in the last day onwards, we are doing this 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 mistake only. We are using cap symbol and we didn't use any kind of cap symbol. So if we are using cap symbol, we missed it, the dollar symbol. So that is the reason we are not able to get proper result by using this regular expression. I hope you might be understand. Okay, so let me continue with the concept of JSON. So this is not enough. So we have to practice more on regular expressions. That is very, very important. We have to practice more on regular expressions. Okay, so yes. So I already pasted the regular expression. That's okay. So now it's time to give a task for you. So what we have to do? You have to implement the regular expression for email ID. We have to implement the regular expression for email ID. Again, I'm telling you, don't use the cap symbol and dollar symbol in the beginning. So after all the validations are completed, then you can use the cap symbol and dollar symbol. So that is the biggest mistake we are doing from the last day onwards. Okay. So you have to implement the regular expression for email ID. So we can get different kinds of validations or examples in the online, but don't copy paste them. Just try to build a regular expression by your own. So we know what are the characters available to build in a regular expression for matching a specific string. So we have to use a at symbol, and we have to use the numerical values as well as the capital letters and small case letters, and we have to use dot property. We have to mention the dot property also, and also we have to mention the domain. So try to implement by your own, whether it is right or wrong. Try to implement it by your own. Don't copy it from any other external websites or blogs or tutorials. Okay, good. So this is the last concept. So we completed the regular expressions concept, and we have a pending topic that is very, very important, that is fetch API. So how we are going to use fetch API, that is very, very important. But in the syllabus, yes, this is the syllabus, right? So we completed CSS, HTML and CSS, introduction to JavaScript, open source frameworks and libraries, use of JavaScript, declaration syntax, where should these topics are covered. So debugging means, so when we are going to get errors, we have to use console.log statement. So if the console.log statement gives us the proper result, then that is fine. When we are going to get a wrong answer or any kind of error, that is wrong. So by using console.log statement, we have to debug. Similarly, statements, comments, data types, pop-up boxes, reserved words. So we have to discuss this concept. Variables, operators, conditional statements, loop statements, transfer statements. Yes, transfer statements means continue and break statement. We have to use that in loop statements. So I will explain them also. Type conversions. Yes, we discussed about arguments and functions. All the concepts of functions are completed. So we discussed DOM manipulations by using document object model. Text content, attributes, dynamical events and objects. Yes. Creating a JavaScript object, JavaScript keyword new, accessing object properties, this keyword in JavaScript, using object constructor, adding methods to object. So we discussed about arrays also. Declaration strings. We discussed dates. So regular expressions, patterns, modifiers, brackets, meta characters, quantifiers. Yes, so we have to separate. Actually, we covered all these topics, but we have to mention what are the pattern, what are the modifiers, what are the brackets, and what are the meta characters, all this stuff. We have to discuss about this also. Okay, basics of form validations, validating radio buttons. Okay. So we just checked we just did the form validation by using phone number or password. That part is completed, but we didn't use any kind of radio buttons, check boxes, and select menus. So validating text, okay, definitely we will do that. So event objects, browser object model, and timer, page redirection. This part is not completed at all. This part is not completed. And let const block scoping, arrow functions, default function parameters, rest and spread operators, object literal extensions, for off loops, template literals. We completed this template literals, but JSON object and hosting, these are the pending topics. So we have to do the ES6 features. We have to discuss about ES6 features. We already completed the arrow functions. Default parameters is also completed. I think this one is completed or not. Rest and spread. We discussed the concept of rest and spread or not? No. So, okay, no. So, no, okay. And yes, object literal extensions. We discussed for off. Template literals also. So first of all, we have to know what is the importance of let const and block scoping. Okay, so arrow functions completed. Let me discuss about this let const and block scoping. So we know how to declare a variable. We have to use var keyword for declaring a variable. So not only var keyword, we can use let also, or we can use const also. So these are the special keywords for declaring a variable. So we know how to use var keyword. But when we are going to use var keyword, so in the hosting process, so first of all, we have to know what is hosting. That is one of the important concepts in JavaScript. So when we are going to execute a program, for example, we have a function addition, and we have a variable that is var a equals to 10, and we have another variable that is var e equals to 20, and finally we have to return the summation of a plus b, summation of ab. We check this. So when we are going to execute this program, we know how to execute this program. If you want to execute this function, we have to use its name. The name of this function is addition. So when we are going to execute this function, what are the var keywords are available, those will be called first in the hosting position. So when we are going to execute all the program, that is including this function, the variables will be executed first. What are the variables? Var a equals to 10 and b equals to 20. So these two variables will be called first. What are the var keywords are there? These keywords will be called first. Why these keywords are calling first? By using this var only. In the previous version of JavaScript, we used to have only var. We didn't have any kind of let or const in the previous versions. Those are recently added feature. So these are the add-ons for the JavaScript. So when we are going to use var keyword, so for interpreting, so we know JavaScript is interpreted language. We have to execute each and every line of the code. So that is the reason, first of all, we have to get all the variables which are declared. So this is the very simple scenario. When we are going to call a specific function, we can recheck whether the variable is declared or not. So that is the reason what are the variables are declared with a var keyword, those will be called first in the execution part. After that, the function name will be called. What is the function name here? That is addition. So the addition function will be called after the variables. The variables are a and b. After we are getting information in the hosting from the var declaration, we will get the function declaration. And after that, after this function, we have variables. Again, it interpreted these two statements. Those are where a equals to 10 and where b equals to 10. Again, where a will be called. Similarly, b also called. And it checks for the value which is already captured in the hosting time. Those are 10 and 20. So these two variables are declared already, so it competes with these two variables. Then these two variables are available, then it proceeds with the next step, that is return a plus b. So it finally returns the a plus b. Alright. So it finally returns the a plus b. So if you observe this, how many times that where keyword calls? So that where keyword is calling 2 times. This is the hosting. That is the disadvantage of JavaScript. So that is the reason they introduced a new concept, that is block scoping. So we can provide block scoping. By using block scoping, we have an advantage. When we are going to call this function, then only the inside properties or inside statements will be called. Because they are having the block scoping. Block scoping means whenever the function called, then only the variables call. The variable declaration or the variable interpretation is completely depends upon the function name, because the variables are available in the function. So that is the reason the new concept introduced. We have to declare the variables with a let keyword. By using this let keyword, we can call the variables whenever we need, whenever we are calling the function. Because the let keyword is having block scoping when comparing to the where. Where is having the global scoping. So that is the difference between the block, the let and where. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear? Yes, it's clear. Okay, so let me take an example. Here I am going to use a greet function. So that is function greet. I'm going to create a greet function and I'm going to declare the variables by using where a equals to hello. And I'm going to use where b equals to no. Here I'm going to use let. Instead of where I'm going to use let. Here that is hi. So in b we have hi. These two are the strings. So let me execute this one. I'm going to execute this program. So the program gets compiled. I'm going to call this a value. So a is not defined. A is not defined, yes. So let me use b here. B is also not defined. Okay, and let me refresh this and let me execute the same code. This is the code here. Not audible. Now audible. I just changed the mic. Yes, it's audible. Okay, let me open the code. So here we are able to see so yes. So let me run this code. That is greet function. Greet. That's fine. I'm going to call the a value that is undefined. That is undefined. We are able to see the undefined. Okay. Better understanding. I'm going to define a function. I'm going to use var value, where a equals to hello, and I'm going to use a equals to 120. Just use 120. So I'm going to print the console.log statement. I'm going to print a value by using console.log statement. Here I'm going to use a as a parameter, and let me see this. So console, yes, console. So we have to use console. CONSOLE. All right. Now 120 is the final answer. 120 is the final answer. So yes. 120 is the final answer, and I'm going to use the console.log statement again, console.log, and I'm going to print a. A is not different, that's okay. So what is the best example for doing this? We have to know the best example. I would like to take a best example for this. Okay, for better understanding, I would like to define a variable where a equals to 1, 2, 3. I'm going to redefine this. So we have, by using where we have global scope, right? So we can declare in a number of variables. I'm going to use where a again. I'm going to declare this. This is the drawback, right? So the where keyword calls multiple times. That is the drawback. So I just used redeclaration. Let me use the console.log statement. Console.log statement, and let me print a value. So a is 123. So okay, let me use let b equals to 10. I'm going to redeclare this b. So we have block scoping. So we need not to yes, we should not declare the variable with the let keyword multiple times. So let me use the console.log statement again. Console.log, and I'm going to use b. So yes, we are able to see here identifier b has already been declared. So we need not to remodify, redeclare it again. So that is the reason when we are going to use var keyword, it calls multiple times. But when we are going to use let keyword, it should call at once. When we are going to execute the program, then only it calls. So here we are calling multiple times. That is the reason we are getting error. So by using var is having function level scoping. So we can redeclare by using var, and by using let keyword, that is block level scoping, we can't redeclare the variable by using let keyword. Very similar to this const also. For example, so when we are going to use the const keyword, where const equals to sorry. So const a equals to 12. Const a equals to 12, and I'm going to use 1 again. So here, if you observe this, identifier a has already been declared. And when we are going to declare the const value, we need not to reassign it again. For example, a plus equals to 1. What will happen? So 124. So what is the value here? This is 12, but we are able to see 124. So this a is already declared by using var keyword. So let me use any other characters, other alphabet, something like z, const z equals to 10. Z is not available. When we're going to execute the z value, that is 10. I'm going to use the assignment operator, that is z plus c equals to 1. Now we are able to get some kind of error. Is assignment to const variable, because when we are going to use const, so that is a constant value. So we should not change the value of it. That is the difference. But when we are going to use let keyword, let k equals to 10. I just used 10, and I'm going to execute this, and I'm going to use k plus equals to 1. So that is modifiable. So we can, that is mutable. We can change the value of it by using some kind of assignment operators. Whereas when we are going to use z, so we can't modify it because we declared it as a constant. So that is the difference between let, const, and var keywords. So what is the difference between arrow function and normal function declaration? Yes, that is also very, very important. So when we're going to use arrow function, that should have a written statement. So that is one of the important question. Thank you, Mahesh, for asking this. So we discussed the object concept, right? So we discussed the object concept. So we know how to declare an object. So I'm going to declare an object. I'm going to use name is Hanuman, and I'm going to use yes, I'm going to use a function. So that is person dot data equals to, I'm going to use a function. Alright, I'm going to use a function. Here I'm going to display the data. So what is the data? So I'm going to return a value, that is this dot name. We know this includes the this refers to the current object. So what is the this here? So it refers the person's object, and we have a statement that is entry. So the entry consists of a key along with a value, that is name, and the value of it is Hanuman. So we are using person.data, and we are using a function. That's fine. So finally we are going to return the value. When we are going to display this, so we are able to see the function is declared. Very similar to this, when we are going to use the data function by using person.data function. So what will happen? So person person.data. the start name, that's fine. Let me check what is the data available in the person. What is this? So this is persons. Yes, this is the persons. So we are using person. This is not correct. So we have to use persons. All right. So we declare the object with the name of persons. To execute. Now this is the function. Again, I'm going to use persons dot data. This is the function, right? So we are able to see that name here. So we declare the variable and we assign a function to it. Very similar to this, I'm going to use persons dot display. This is also a function. So, but here I'm going to use an arrow function. An arrow function, and I'm going to use a return statement here. Return this dot name again. Let me execute. Now this is also function. For example, I'm going to call this persons dot display. Display is the function. So we just used arrow function, persons dot display. Let me execute. Now we're able to see this is an empty. So it returns a value by default. We are using a return statement. By default, an arrow function returns a value. Whereas an anonymous function, it should not return a value until we defined it. So we defined a return statement. That is the reason we are able to see the result. But when we are going to use same condition here, we used return this dot name. We use the function, but we are not able to get that information. So when we are going to call a current object or current statement, it's better to use anonymous function instead of arrow function. So this is the difference between anonymous function and arrow function. So most of the cases, these two are very similar, but when we are going to declare like this, we can understand the difference. So it returns a direct value without calling the object. So we are not able to call that object directly when we are going to use an arrow function. But when we are going to use an anonymous function, we can call that value by using this keyword. This refers to the current object. Is that clear? What is the difference between arrow function and arrow? Yes. Is that clear, Mahesh? Chetan responded clear. Okay, Mahesh, try to respond in the chat box. Yes. Is that clear? Yes. Okay. Now we have 10 minutes of time. So we discussed resistance. Yes. We only know default parameters. Yes. Let's discuss this concept. What is JSON object? What is JSON object and what are the penny topics? This is the concept. We will discuss about this tomorrow. So we will discuss about these topics tomorrow. This is the penning topic, right? So browser object model. So we can use that directly, but not a problem. Browser object model, we can have 10 minutes of time. No, it's not possible for discussing these concepts today. Okay, sure. And arrow functions we discussed. Okay. So now we have to discuss. Yes, we completed this template literals also. Now I would like to discuss this concept, that is JSON object. How we are going to create a JSON object and how we are going to access it in JavaScript. So is there any? Yes, this is the project, right? So we have node modules. Okay, so I would like to create a new project here. Project. Just created a project. I'm going to open Visual Studio Code. This is open. So it's time to open the folder, project folder. So the project folder is available in desktop environment. That is project. All right. So I just open this project and I'm going to create index.html. Very similar to this, everyone need to create this file because we need to understand what is the concept of JSON. So I'm going to create a file with the name of data.json. So everyone need to create a file with the name of data.json. It is very, very important. So I just used the file name as data.json. Just created. Now we have a data.json and we have index.html. Again, I'm going to create a file with the name of main.js. So we have three files now: index.html, main.js, and data.json. All right. So now, first of all, we need to include the basic structure of HTML in it. I'm going to use HTML5. I just used HTML5 here. So we have an empty body section. All right. We have an empty body section, and now it's time to implement this data.json. So remember, everyone, data.json is very similar to JavaScript object. But why we need to use this JSON format of data? So when we are going to communicate with the server or the backend, so we need to get information from the backend in the format of object. The data must and should have in the format of string only. That is the reason we need to use data.json. Whatever the information is available in JSON file, that should be in string format. So for defining a data.json or JSON data, we have to use braces. It's very, very important. We have to use braces. So I just used two braces. This is the opening one and this is the closed one. And here I'm going to create an object, that is JSON object. As we discussed earlier, each and every JSON object must and should have a string format. So I'm going to use basics. And here I'm going to use another object. So we used basics and we used another object in it. Now basics is an object. Now I'm going to use name is Hanuman, and I'm going to use the role that is modern developer. So we have this information. That's it. We have this information, and I'm going to use email. Yes, I used this email address. That's fine. Similarly, we can include the mobile number. So we can use the mobile number also here. So what we are doing here, we are entering the entries. Basics is an object, and we have different kinds of entries. Each and every entry is a key value pair: name, Hanuman, role, Baron developer, email, and we use an email. So this is the example email, and very similar to this, we have to use the mobile number also. So let me use a sample mobile number: 988 588 388. So how many characters? These are 9. 3. So this is a sample mobile number. We just created a JSON object. So we can observe, so we are using each and every information in the format of string only. Basic, this is an object. This is the object name. Here we are using a string kind of data. Key is also a string kind of data. Value is also a string kind of data. We have all the values in the format of string only. So you can validate this. So for validating this, we have to copy this information. We copy this information, Control A and Control C, and we have a open source extension. So what is this? So this is the feedback form we have to send. So this one. So how to give an alert? Please fill the name or required field. Sir, how to give an alert? Please fill the name or required field value. Okay, definitely we will explain this. Feedback forms. Okay, this is the feedback forms. Okay, so let me check the first one. So we have to check the validation, JSON validation. So we have to use JSON validator. We are having a open source only that is JSON lint. So I'm going to use JSON validator here. So there is a free JSON validator is available. So that is JSON lint. We can validate the JSON file by using this JSON lint. Here we are able to see the JSON lint, and so this is we have to enter the JSON data here. This is not the JSON data, so we have to copy that from the coding part. So this is the JSON data. Let me copy this and paste it in window. Yes, this is the JSON lint. So this is the coding part here. Then we can enter the coding part here and we can check this here. So validate JSON. Just click on validate JSON. Now we are able to see the result that this is the valid JSON now. All right. So we are able to see the results here. It is valid JSON. All right. So now it's time to access that information in the server. That is very important. So we know how to create a JSON data here. Now it's time to display this information in the front-end part in the index.html page. So that is very important. Remember everyone, when we are going to access information from the external file or external sources, we have to use server. We don't have any kind of server here. This is static data. If you want to get information from the data.json, we have to use a server. So for installing server, we have a free extension available for the Chrome. So you need to do one thing. So you have to install the extension. You can type web server for Chrome. You can type this web server for Chrome. And so this is the chrome.google.com. Here we can get the extension that is web server for Chrome. You can install this extension. Yes, I already have this extension in my laptop. So you can click on this launch application. So whatever it may be, you have to install this extension in your browser. This is a lightweight server. By using the server, you can access external files by using index.html or any kind of other HTML files. So from tomorrow onwards, we will discuss how to render the JSON data from external sources by using server. But what we have to do, we have to install the web server for Chrome. That is one of the browser extension that is for free and that is very lightweight. That is the reason we are preferring that only. So you have to install this web server for Chrome, and based on that we will discuss the tomorrow's concept. Yes, okay. So time is already 6:30. Now it's time to wind up the session for today, and we'll continue tomorrow. Okay. Thank you everyone.